Episode 203, Study Session 7, Leadership. Introduction. In this study session, we'll examine the concept of leadership, qualities of a good leader, and approaches to leadership. We'll also examine different functions performed by a good leader. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to 1. Define and use correctly the term leadership. 2. Enumerate 5 qualities of a good leader. 3. Explain 2 approaches to leadership. 4. Identify different functions performed by a leader. Concept of leadership. Many people, including some prominent political leaders, assume that good leaders are capable of manipulating, controlling, and forcing their followers into obedience. Forsyth, 1999. Hitler, for example, defined leadership as the ability to move the masses, whether through persuasion or violence. But people who use domination and coercion to influence others, e.g. kings, presidents, bosses, or managers, are not leaders. The term leader should be reserved for those who act in the best interest of a group with the consent of that group. Leadership is a form of power, but such a power is with people rather than over people. It is reciprocal relationship between the leader and the led, although a leader may control the source of power within the group. He or she distributes this power to other members. Hollander and Offerman, 1990. Skarkowski, 1995. Leadership occurs when one person in a group influences other members to help the group reach its goals. Because all group members influence each other at various times, each individual exerts leadership. Zastro, 2001. However, a difference exists between being a designated leader, e.g., a president or chairperson, and engaging in leadership behavior. A designated leader has certain responsibilities, such as calling meetings and leading discussions, while leadership refers to influential behavior in general. Pointing out what leadership is not is easier than pointing out what it is. Leadership is not the power to coerce others, an inborn trait, or a mysterious capacity to heal sick groups. There are many definitions given to leadership. Most definers agree, however, that leadership is a specialized form of social interaction, a reciprocal, transactional, and sometimes transformational process in which cooperating individuals are permitted to influence and motivate others to promote the attainment of group and individual goals. The above definition is somehow cumbersome. It emphasizes several features which are summarized below. 1. Leadership is a reciprocal process involving the leader, the follower, and the group situation. 2. Leadership is a transactional, social exchange process. Leaders and members work together, exchanging their times, energies, and skills to increase their joint rewards. 3. Leadership is often a transformational process. The transformational leader heightens group members' motivation, confidence, and satisfaction by uniting members and changing their beliefs, values, and needs. 4. Leadership is a cooperative process of legitimate influence rather than sheer power. In a small group, for example, the individual who influences others the most is often designated the leader, and the right to lead is, in most instances, voluntarily conferred on the leader by some or all members of the group. 5. Leadership is an adaptive, goal-seeking process, for it organizes and motivates group members, attempts to attain personal and group goals. Personal qualities of a leader. A leader is someone who influences other people to achieve personal or group goals. Such a person has certain qualities or characteristics that distinguishes him or her from other group members or that sets him or her apart from others. A leader is expected to possess the following qualities: height, weight, and age. Leaders tend to differ physically from their subordinates. They are often older, taller, and heavier than the average group member. According to Stockdale 1974, the correlation between weight and leadership varies from minus 0.13 to plus 0.71, but the average is about 0.30. Though group members seem to associate height with power, the relationship is not so strong that height is a prerequisite for leadership. E.g., Napoleon managed to reach position of leadership despite being short. Also, age may or may not matter for leadership position. For instance, leadership in informal discussion groups vary in age, whereas political or business leaders are often older than their subordinates. Intelligence. Groups appear to prefer leaders who are more intelligent than the average group members. Such a leader must also be able to make superior judgments with greater decisiveness, be more knowledgeable, and speak more fluently. Gender. Studies have shown that men are 5 times more likely to enact leadership behaviors than women in small, mixed-sex leadership groups, and so are more likely to emerge as leaders. Walker et al. 1996. Both leaders and subordinates perceive female leaders to be less dominant than male leaders. Ethnic diversity. Leaders emerge all over the world, no matter what the culture, ethnicity, or race of the group members. Hunt and Peterson, 1997. Leadership may even be more common in cultures and subcultures that stress collectivistic, group-centered values. For example, in African American groups, leadership is often centered around strong leaders, while Afrocentric groups stress harmony and unity than Euro-American groups. Personality. Early leadership researchers believe that leaders possess certain personality traits that set them apart from others. Big 5 dimensions of personality of a leader have been identified. These, according to Digman, 1990, are: 1. Extraversion, outgoing, sociable, interpersonal, expressive, gregarious. 2. Agreeableness, friendly, warm, likable, generous, kind. 3. Conscientiousness, responsible, achievement-oriented, dependable, self-controlled. 4. Stability, emotionally controlled, assured, not anxious, balanced. And 5. Intelligence, intellectually able, open to new ideas and experience, cultured. Going beyond traditional personality traits, Zakharov et al. 1991 believe that leaders also tend to be higher in social intelligence, which is the ability to perceive the needs and goals of the group members, and then adjust to meet these varying situational demands. 6. Expertise. A leader is expected to have adequate knowledge and skills for achieving the group goals. When groups work collectively on tasks, individuals with more expertise usually rise higher in the group's leadership hierarchy. Hence, groups are more accepting of leaders who have previously demonstrated task ability and are more willing to follow the direction of a task-competent person than those of an incompetent person. Field studies of leadership in organizational and military settings also suggest that individuals who possess value skills are more often recognized as leaders. 7. Participation. Leaders emerge within the group based on their active participation in groups' activities or involvement in discussions on how to solve groups' problems. High participation rates imply that the individual has great interest in the group or its problem. Approaches to leadership. 4 major approaches to leadership are discussed in this session. These are traits, position, leadership style, and distributed functions approach. The trait approach. This approach to leadership has existed for centuries. It assumes that leaders have inherent personal characteristics or traits that distinguish them from followers. The approach asserts that leaders are born, not made, and emerge naturally instead of being trained. Based on this approach, leaders can be characterized by being better adjusted and more dominant, extroverted, masculine, and interpersonally sensitive than their followers. They also possess other traits such as intelligence, enthusiasm, dominance, self-confidence, egalitarianism, and charisma. The trait approach to leadership has given rise to 2 types of leaders, namely charismatic and Machiavellian leaders. Charismatic leader. Charisma has been defined as an extraordinary power as of working miracles. According to Johnson and Johnson 1987, a charismatic leader is somebody with a sense of mission, a belief in the social change movement he or she leads. He or she is a person who has confidence in him or herself as the chosen instrument to lead the movement to its destination. A charismatic leader must appear extremely self-confident in order to inspire others with the faith that the movement he or she leads will, without fail, prevail and ultimately reduce their distress. Some charismatic leaders appear to inspire their followers to love and be fully committed to them. Others offer their followers the hope and promise of deliverance from distress. Good examples of charismatic leaders are John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., Julius Caesar, and Chief Obafemi Awolowo, to mention a few. One major problem with the charisma approach is that people who are viewed as having charisma tend to express this quality in a variety of ways. Zastro 2001. Machiavellian leader. This type of leadership was based on the ideas of an Italian statesman, Niccolo Machiavelli, 1469 to 1527, who advocated cunning, deceit, and duplicity as political methods that rulers should use for increasing their power and control. Machiavellian leadership is based on the concept that people, 1, are basically fallible, gullible, untrustworthy, and weak. 2, are impersonal objects, and 3, should be manipulated so that a leader can achieve his goals. Christian Gales 1970 observed that Machiavellian leaders have 4 characteristics, namely 1, they have little emotional involvement in interpersonal relationships. 2, they are not concerned about conventional morality. That is, they take a utilitarian view, what they can get out of it, rather than a moral view of their interaction with others. 3, they have a fairly accurate perception of the needs of their followers, which facilitates their capacity to manipulate them. And 4, they have a low degree of ideological commitment. They focus on manipulating others for personal benefits rather than on achieving long-term ideological goals. While a few leaders may have Machiavellian characteristics, most do not. Today, very few groups would function effectively or efficiently with Machiavellian leaders. The position approach. This approach defines leadership in terms of authority of a particular position. It focuses on studying behavior, training, and personal background of leaders in high-level positions. Individuals become leaders with little related training. e.g. in family business, while others spend years developing their skills. Also, individuals in different leadership positions display a variety of appropriate behaviors. For example, a drill sergeant in basic military training is not expected to be empathic like a sensitive group leader. The position approach shows that what constitutes leadership behavior depends on the particular requirements of the position, e.g., president, vice president, manager, supervisor, etc. The leadership style approach. By this approach to leadership, three types of leaders emerge. These are authoritarian leaders. These are leaders who have more absolute power than the democratic leaders. They set goals and policies, dictate the activities of members, and develop. They set goals and policies, dictate the activities of the members, and develop major plans. Authoritarian leadership is generally efficient and decisive. However, group members may respond out of necessity and not because of commitment to group goals. Authoritarian leadership also gives room for backbiting, bickering, factionalism, behind the scenes, jockeying for position among members, and a decline in morale. Zastro 2001. Democratic leaders. These are leaders that seek the maximum involvement and participation of every member in all decisions affecting the group and attempt to spread responsibility rather than concentrate it. Unlike the authoritarian leadership, democratic leadership is more effective because of the strong cooperation that emerges from group participation. Interpersonal hostilities between members, dissatisfaction with the leader, and concern for personal advancement are easily discussed and resolved. However, this type of leadership can lead to slow decision-making and confusion. Laissez-faire leaders. These leaders participate very little, and group members are generally left to function or flounder with little input. Under this type of leadership, the group members do not normally function well. They only function effectively when they are committed to a course of action, have resources to implement it, and need minimal leadership to reach their goals. These may work well in a college department. The distributed functions approach. This approach disagrees sharply with Trait's theory of leadership and asserts that every member of a group will be a leader at times by taking actions that serve group functions. Leadership is defined as the performance of acts that helps the group maintain itself and reach its goals. Leadership functions include setting goals, selecting and implementing tasks, and providing resources to accomplish group goals while maintaining the group's cohesion and satisfying the needs of individual members. The functional approach involves determining what tasks or functions are essential to achieve group's goals and how different group members should participate. The demand of a leadership, according to this approach, is viewed as being specific to a particular group in a particular situation. E.g., cracking a joke may be a useful leadership tactic in certain situations. Functional leadership involves a learned set of skills that anyone with certain minimal capabilities can acquire. Roles performed by leaders. There are two specific leadership roles or functions. According to Zastro 2001, these are task and maintenance roles. All groups, whether organized for therapeutic reasons, problem solving, or other purposes, rely on members performing task roles and group maintenance roles satisfactorily. The two major roles performed by the leaders are discussed as follows. Task roles. These are roles needed to accomplish specific goals set by the group. According to David and Johnson, 1975, the task roles performed by the leader include 1. He offers facts, opinions, ideas, suggestions, and relevant information to help group discussion. He asks for facts, information, opinions, ideas, and feelings from other members to help group discussion. 3. He proposes goals and tasks to initiate action within the group. 4. He develops plans on how to proceed and focuses attention on the task to be done. 5. He pulls together related ideas or suggestions and restates and summarizes major points discussed. 6. He shows relationship among various ideas by pulling them together and harmonizes activities of various subgroups and members. 7. He figures out sources of difficulties the group has in working effectively and the blocks to progress in accomplishing the group's goal. 8. He stimulates a high quality of work from the group. 9. He examines the practicality and workability of ideas, evaluates alternative solutions, and applies them to real situations to see how they will work. 10. He compares group decisions and accomplishments with group standards and goals. Group maintenance roles. These are roles which strengthen social and emotional bonds within the group. Such roles performed by the leader includes 1. He warmly encourages everyone to participate, giving recognition for contributions, demonstrating acceptance and openness to ideas of others. The leader is friendly and responsive to group members. 2. He persuades members to analyze constructively their differences in opinions, searches for common elements in conflicts, and tries to reconcile disagreements. 3. He eases tension and increases the enjoyment of group members by joking, suggesting breaks, and proposing fun approaches to group work. 4. He shows good communication skills and makes sure that each group member understands what other members are saying. 5. He asks members how they feel about the way in which the group is working and about each other, and shares own feelings about both. 6. He watches the process by which the group is working and uses the observations to help examine group effectiveness. 7. He expresses group standards and goals to make members aware of the direction of the work and the progress being made towards the goal, and to get open acceptance of group norms and procedures. 8. He listens and serves as an interested audience for other members. The leader is receptive to other ideas, goes along with the group when not in disagreement. 9. He accepts and supports openness of other group members, reinforcing risk-taking and encouraging individuality. 10. He promotes open discourse of conflicts between group members in order to resolve them. It should be noted that each of the tasks and maintenance functions discussed above may be used occasionally in a group. Roles performed by the group leader. Apart from the task and maintenance roles, the group leader also performs the following roles. The leader coordinates the activities of the group. He establishes group goals and policies. He decides the means by which the group shall achieve its goals. He offers ready source of information and skills. The leader serves as official spokesperson. He controls the group structure and in-group relations. He promotes, demotes, and assigns pleasant or unpleasant tasks. He acts as both judge and conciliator and has the power to reduce or increase factionalism within the group. The leader serves as a model of behavior for other members. He serves as a source of group beliefs and values. And lastly, he serves as the target for members' frustrations and disappointments. Study session summary. In this study session, you learn that leadership is the ability to move the masses, whether through persuasion or violence. It is a transactional social exchange process. Leadership occurs when one person in a group influences other members to help the group reach its goals. We define a leader as someone who influences other people to achieve personal or group goals. Such a person is recognized by the following characteristics: height, weight, age, intelligence, gender, personality traits, expertise.